What's up guys, Matt here, and today we're back in Car Mechanic Simulator. Let's go see what we can find. I'm gonna go search the auctions, maybe the junkyard. Let's go see what we can get. So this one has me a little bit interested. It's a full-on drag 69 Mustang, purpose-built dragster. You can see we got a big wing bag here, wheelie bars, roll cage, and then obviously the interior's been gutted. Definitely a good start. And I don't know if I've done a full-on dedicated drag car on the channel yet. If I have, it's been a while and I've forgotten by now. But this one has a supercharged V8. We look at it over here. We've got, a V8 dual overhead cam supercharged. We've got a lot of swap options, although the dual overhead cam supercharged V8 would be probably what I choose. Factory power of 1,000. Yeah, guys, I think this is one we're going to go for. Try to throw a lot more power through that engine and see what we can get. Let's at least throw a few bids on it and see what we can do here. And we got it for just under 15,000, so that's actually pretty good if you ask me. Let's go ahead and send it over to the garage. Guys, we're building us a drag car. Which the drag car will be cool because, you know, the drag racing DLC, it'll be fun to take this thing over there. But in the meantime, let's take this thing over to the car wash and see what we've got under here. I can tell it's like red with a blue stripe or something. It's interesting. We probably definitely want to mess around with some liveries and see what we can do in making it look as awesome as we possibly can. And yeah, it's definitely red with like a bluish purpley stripe. Looks better than it did. Send it over to the garage. We will start with the basics. We'll get the welder out, move that over to the car, and do the body welding there. Get all that back up to snuff, straighten out what we can. Obviously, a lot of these panels are in pretty bad shape. We'll get those off here in a minute. Send this thing back to where it was, and we'll go ahead and just clean the interior right now, since any other interior we're going to be putting in it will be brand new anyways. Might as well knock this out of the way. Get things looking a little bit better in there. And yeah, it definitely does. I'm not even going to bother with engine diagnostics. We're going to rebuild this whole thing. It obviously looks like it's in rough shape, but we want to rebuild it anyways to be able to throw a bunch of performance parts at it. Let's send this thing over here, see if do we even have an oil pan? Oh, we do. Let's see if there's any oil in it, and if so, what does it look like? Yeah, that looks terrible. And there was not much in there anyways. Just going to drain the fluids, get that brake fluid out of there. Power steering fluid coming out. And coolant. Oh, and hiding back there is the windshield wiper reservoir. Let's go ahead and get that drained. It's hidden. There we go. We get the cap off. And out comes the wiper fluid. Got my engine crate in place, ready to go, but let's first disconnect the drive line. Don't want to get too ahead of myself here. We'll start by taking off the starter and then the gearbox. Check out this exhaust. It just comes right out the side. That's so cool. Right there. Definitely a drag type setup. Let's get this exhaust disconnected here, and I think we are ready to pull this engine. Get it back down on the ground. There we go. And then now we are ready to pull it. And out it comes. Take it over the engine stand. There it is in all its rusty glory. And it's pretty bad. Let's start by tearing down parts of the car. Let's get the engine bay cleaned up, get that brake servo out of there, spin around, get this radiator fan housing and the fan, as well as the radiator. Get our coolant reservoir, windshield wiper reservoir, and we've got intercoolers there that we can get to from underneath, I believe. I think that's pretty much everything from the engine bay there. Let's get those intercoolers. There is one, and then the other. Now with the engine bay cleaned up, let's start pulling off body panels. Some really, really rough body panels, and get this windshield out of here. Looks like this trim, yep, there we go. That can come out. Get that roll cage out of the way. Jump over here, get this fender. Get the door. We're missing a whole door on that side, aren't we? I can't remember if I pulled that off or not. Get rid of this trunk. This here, rear bumper. And fuel tank. We'll grab that now. Get that from underneath. Looks like that's everything on the body. Let's go ahead and pull interior stuff here. Remove pretty much just the seat. That's it. Definitely gonna need a steering wheel, aren't we? And before I forget, I'm gonna reach over here and grab this ECU. Sometimes I tend to forget that because I'm not always looking for it. Let's go back up, and start pulling things from underneath. We'll start in the back. Let's grab this fuel pump out of the way. Fuel tank, battery. Be able to throw that on the charger. Actually, let's do that now before we forget, because I've been known to do that too. All right, that is charging. Let's get back to pulling more stuff apart, starting with the rear end. Let's work from the outside end. Brake disc, rear drive axle, and we've got some stuck bolts as expected. This thing has been sitting outside for a while. Off those come. Here comes the wheel hub, knuckle housing. And then we'll spin around here. I'll go ahead and grab this absorber cap spring and spring cap there. We can get our leaf spring U-bolts. There's one. And the other. We can get our plate here, as well as pull our rubber bushing. And get this axle lower control arm out of the way. Rear shock absorber. That's that side done. On to the other side. And we are ready to remove the axle. The back is finished. Onto the front. I want to take a second to thank my very first Patreon. That would be Ethan Crumley. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you're interested, I do have a Patreon. And the whole point of that is to, you know, kind of dedicate more time to be able to make these videos for you guys if you enjoy them, if you want more regular uploads. Because, you know, it does take time away from my regular job to be able to, I could take a little more time off from my regular work to be able to make some videos for you guys if we can get that Patreon going. You know, I got to pay the bills somehow. I hate to, you know, it's not like a handout. If you're not interested, no worries. But if you are, thanks so much. I appreciate it. That's that side done. Let's pull this side off. Now we can pull our front sway bar, steering rack, and get this rubber bushing here. I think that's the only one in there, isn't it? Yep. You can pull out that whole cross member. All right, and guys, don't feel obligated that you have to go visit the Patreon, but there is a link down below if you are interested. Some cool little perks there. All right, that's enough of that. That's the last time I'm going to talk about it in this video. All right, I think we are pretty much stripped down body-wise. Now we got to strip down this beautiful supercharged engine. Let's start with this side. Get the coils covered. Well, this already has. Oh no, it doesn't. Thought it had performance coils. Could see it turn red there, but they're black. I was gonna be surprised. Okay, now we can pull these. Well, no, we gotta go. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Start with the throttle body, get that out of the way. Then we can get the fuel rail. Now we can remove the engine head cover. That little guy, that little bolt there, I tend to miss. Several fasteners holding this engine head cover on. And off that goes. We can get our spark plugs. Excited to see what kind of power we're going to be able to make out of this thing. I'm always excited for that. Exhaust manifold, definitely going to be replacing these with headers. Why it didn't have them in the first place, I don't know. It's a drag car, right? And now we have to start, to be able to remove more of this stuff, we got to start pulling stuff off the front. So many pulleys. Where do I begin? Right there, belt tensioner. Get this idle roller, and of course it's stuck. There we go, that comes off. Now we can grab the whole serpentine belt. Get our water pump pulley off of here while we are right here. Go ahead and grab that water pump. 3 bolts, nice that they're not stuck. Now we can pull this serpentine belt. Get our harmonic balancer off. So many little pulleys on the front of these engines. All right, there goes all the pulleys. Now, to be able to get this timing cover off, we got to start tearing down this side. Now we can move on to the timing cover. There we go. 4 bolts there. And now we've got our timing belt there and timing belt there. Now we can go move these cam gears. Remove the cams and then the heads. These modular engines are fun. There's a lot to them though. Onto this side, cam gear. Get the camshafts out. Let's go ahead and grab this fuel rail. Let's get up here, get this supercharger off of here. 2 stuck bolts on that. Poor supercharger, been sitting out in the weather. Now we can remove the heads. 2 more. And what do we have? A lot of carbon buildup. This thing has been abused for sure. Grab this alternator over here. A lot of stuck bolts on this one. And then we can jump on to the other side. Yep, just as bad. Well, couple not as bad carbon buildup on 2 of those, but it's pretty rough in there. Definitely in need of a rebuild, that's for sure. Let's flip this thing over. Let's get the oil filter off, as well as the oil pan. Out it comes. Spin around, grab that bolt, and we are exposed to our rods and rod caps and pistons. Yeah, and these are all crusty, rusty, and gross. Grab our crankshaft bearing cap, and I'll just go ahead and grab the rest of these. Our final rod cap. Now we can start pulling pistons out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And from here, we can run over here, grab our clutch release bearing, move our clutch plate. This would be pretty hard to do on an engine stand. I forgot to do it while I was under the car, but it's nice that the game lets me do it here. And off that comes clutch plate, flywheel. Now we can remove our crankshaft. That is stripped, and the engine block. Let's see. Oh, don't want to forget the fuel filter that's floating in there, in the air there. So now it's completely torn down, and this is the part where I repair what I can and replace what I can't. It's not like I'm going to use these rotors. I'm probably going to go with the carbon ceramic rotors because we're going to want to stop this thing. But it's nice to be able to turn these rotors down and sell them off for a little bit of a profit there. And to save you guys from having to watch me do this for a good 15 minutes repairing, we're just going to fast forward to when all the parts are repaired or replaced. Got everything repaired or replaced, and starting on the engine here, I already got the crankshaft in, and now we put in the pistons, and I've got every one of those except for this one, and they are performance. Was able to find a lot of performance parts because this is a dragster and we're going to be going fast, making a lot of power. Put on our oil pan. There we are. And I think we're ready for our power steering pump while we're down here. And we can throw on our alternator. Then I think we'll throw on our oil filter and then flip it on over. Just like that. Now we're ready for engine heads, which are as well performance and slightly upgraded. I didn't have a whole lot of scrap points, but I used up what I did have. Got that in. Performance camshafts, 1 and 2. Ready for our cam gears. Just building up this whole side of the engine. Performance exhaust manifold. These are actually headers. Looking really good in the stainless. Polished stainless, I guess that would be. Spark plug. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Throw on our fuel filter while we're over here. And we're ready for a timing belt. Right there. Now to build the other side. From here we can go with our supercharger intake. And let's go timing cover first here. Save the best for last, the cherry on top, the supercharger. And we've got several idler rollers here. Get all these pulleys put on. Now we're ready for our water pump. The 3 bolts that hold that on, our harmonic balancer. Water pump pulley. Thing is coming together. And then we can go with our heads now that we got the timing cover on. Get the head cover on, several fasteners for this. I like the red. I always like the red with the chrome, the polished stainless. Then we've got our performance ignition coils here. 3 and 4, and then we'll be ready for the cover. There it is. Now onto the other side. I think we're ready for the supercharger. Performance supercharger, slightly upgraded. And our throttle body. And I'm sure we're going to want to do our fuel rails here. All of this stuff performance. Get as much power out of this thing as we can. Now we're ready for our supercharger belt here. Serpentine belt. And then the other. And then that tensioner here. On it goes. And one more idler roller. And I believe that is it. That's one good looking engine right there. Stand back and enjoy it. Yeah, that's gonna be putting out some power. Nice. On to the body. Let's grab our battery real quick off of here before I forget. Take it. And we're gonna put that in the car. It's cool because it's actually modeled in here, the battery tray here for the Dragster, and then the fuel or the fire suppression system over there. That's so cool. Very well done. What do you say we install our engine and take our engine off the stand? Install that one, and boom, there it is. That looks really good in there. It actually matches the paint, the current paint. We're probably gonna paint this thing, but looks good. Okay, we can put this thing back and get to building on the car. Under the hood here, we've got radiator. Then we're gonna have our fans and fan housing. Let's go ahead and put in our windshield washer reservoir, power steering reservoir, coolant reservoir. We could do our brake master cylinder. What else? We got anything else in here? Oh yeah, we've got the intercoolers, which are accessible from out here. Go ahead and raise the car up. We've got the large and the small. Now I believe we're ready for suspension. Let's get our cross member in. Power steering rack, of course, front sway bar, and the little rubber bushings. One there, one on each corner. And it goes. I'll do the other side when I get to the other side. We'll do the front steering knuckle. And our inner tie rod. On it goes. Outer tie rod. Boom. Lower control arm, rubber bushings. And we've got our shock assembly here. And we're ready for our upper control arm. You got to see the tires I bought for this thing, especially for the rear. They are meaty. They look good. And we've got our front wheel hub. Bearing. We've got the carbon ceramic discs. We're going to need them. We're going to want to stop this thing. It is a Mustang after all. We need to be able to stop those. Get the brake caliper on. Of course, we're going to want our sway bar in link. I think we are ready for our wheel and tire. And these are the fronts. Here it is. On it goes. Beautiful. On to the other side. We are ready for the rear of the car. Let's get the rear suspension installed. We got our axle housing here. We got our rear shock absorber. On it goes. Spring cap. Spring. And rear shock absorber cap. On it goes. Solid rear axle control arm and the rubber bushing that goes to that. On it goes. Rear wheel hub. And we've got our axle. Ready for our brake disc. On it goes. Brake caliper. And let's check out these massive meats. Oh, before I got to get the spring plate. I almost forgot that. And our U-bolts, of course. I knew I was missing something. There it is. All right, stand back. Once we get those rear quarters on, you'll see, it's gonna look really good. Okay, on to the other side. We are ready for our fuel tank and our performance fuel pump. From here, we are ready for our flywheel, clutch plate, clutch pressure plate. Again, all this performance stuff I could get. And throwout bearing. Then I got the tunable gearbox because I think we're gonna need it for sure. Get that on and we should be ready for our starter. There it is. Then our drive shaft. On you go. Spin around and get these others. Ready for exhaust, which there isn't much of it. There's the front exhaust section. And then the muffler. It's really all there is to it. This thing's gonna sound good, I imagine. Brake fluid, wiper fluid, engine coolant, power steering fluid, and engine oil. While I'm here, I'm gonna install our tunable stage 3 ECU. I believe that's everything up here. Yeah, I don't see anything else. I think we can move on to the body. Let's get that going. Let's start from the front here. Do the front clamshell, the hood. We can do our headlights. There's one. And there's the other. Our front bumper. The grill here. And license plate. I went with Idaho. And then we've got our trim there, as well as our trim on the hood. Moving back to the fenders. At least one fender there. The door, glass, mirror, front windshield. And get our quarter panel on there. See, now that looks so good. they look really good in there. Perfect size. Get our trunk on here. As well as our rear bumper with parachute and wheelie bars. We can do our tail lights. One there and then the other. Can't forget our license plate back here. And we're ready for this side of the car. Oh, I guess I need to do the window on the other side. Almost forgot that. There we go. Get that in. Now to install the roll cage, it's kind of interesting because this is a mod. We are going to add engine cover from under the hood, and then that installs the roll cage on the interior. I believe that's the body done. And I mismatched the wheels just because I like that look. The kind of old school dragster 5-spoke back here, and then more of the original Mustang wheel up front. I dig it. I dig the look. Kind of a 60s style, you know? And I almost forgot to remove all the old fuses and relays and replace those. So we get those out of the way. And pull all these relays and fuses. Get them all replaced. Brand new. Get the cover back on, and I believe we are ready for paint. We'll send this thing over to the paint booth. Look at how that thing sits, just raked out like that. It looks so good. Oh, I love it. Very, very old school 60s. There are a lot of liveries for this car, but I'm kind of digging this one. The Mach 1 looks very 60s. Black hood, and then blacked out back here with the Mach 1. Looks really cool. I'm digging on that. Now, as for the color, some of these factory colors are cool. I dig that blue, but that red also looks good, especially with the yellow and white. I think that's a winner. Definitely retains that 60s kind of vibe that I was shooting for. Paint it. Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, on to alignment and all that fun stuff. Let's get that over there. This car is way out. We'll get that fixed. Thing just looks mean sitting there like that. onto the dyno. Let's find out what kind of power we're going to be making. That's the exciting part. First, I'm definitely going to have to add some gears here and get this kind of dialed in, because I think we're going to be making a lot of power, and it's always nice to have a few extra gears to be able to grab if you need them. Then of course we need to tune our ECU, try to get these things to balance out as much as we can. And that's about as good as I've been able to get it. That's plus 10%. That's quite a lot. So yeah, it's as good as I've been able to find of a balance. Yeah, that takes it down to 8. So yeah, we're going to apply that at plus 10%. Nice. We are now ready to dyno, if the thing will start. Actually, let's get in and see if it'll start. Haven't tried that yet. Start. It starts. It sounds all right. That's one thing Car Mechanic Simulator could improve, is the engine sounds. I'll just admit that right now. Okay, let's start the dyno. Proceed. Yes. Here we go. So the factory power was 1,000 at 844 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot. Let's see what we end up making. You can hear that supercharger, and the survey says 2,080 horsepower, 1,741 pound-feet of torque, gives us a drag rating of 999. Perfect. That's gonna be awesome. All right, at the speed track, let's see what kind of top speed we can get out of this thing. And it looks good. I really dig the rake. It looks a little ridiculous, but this is kind of how it was in the 60s. You know, these old 60s dragsters. They would rake them out pretty good. All right, let's go. Let's see what this thing has. You can definitely hear that supercharger working. Already at 200 miles an hour right there. Oh man, this thing is quick. Can we get to 300? Oh, it tops out at 299. Can we stop in time? Yes, looks like we can. 299. Wonder if I can tune on that just a little bit, get it to 300. All right, attempt number 2, scooting back a little bit to get as much of a run up as we can. Slide it a little bit. Oh man, this thing is loose, but it is fun. Even on slicks. Okay, we're at 200 now. Can we get to 300 and still stop the thing? 270, 280, 290, 300, and on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. Oh yeah, we did it. We probably could have got maybe a little bit more out of that. Let's see if we can. 310, 312, see if we can still stop. Oh, it's gonna be close. Let's turn. I call that about as all she's gonna give us. That is awesome. 312. The thing is fun to drive though. It is quick. Will it J-turn? Yeah, a little bit. But the real test is gonna be at the drag strip. Let's take it to the drag strip. All right, here we are, King of the Sands, quarter mile, Class A. You're about to proceed in the championship with the Ford Mustang Drag. Currently set up, okay, yep, sounds good to me. Let's see what we can do. We're going to be up against a Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta. That'll be cool. What does that look like? Oh yeah, that's that old classic. I love it. I want to restore one of those. Soon we shall. I can't afford one yet, but anyways, let's get this thing started, see what we can do. And there it is. Right over there. One thing I do love about is all these gauges in here. That is so cool. All right, here we go. Third, fourth. How we doing? Fifth. I think we got him. Oh, shift. I missed the shift. I forgot to shift in one area. But we still got an 8.4 in the quarter mile. Man, looks like we got him. And for the next race, we go up against another 250 GT Berlinetta. I love how much we're staring down at the track in this thing just from the rake. All right, here we go. Getting the shifts, making sure I don't miss one. There we go. Man, we were flying on that one. 8.4 again at 197. I wonder if we can break 200 miles an hour in the quarter. We are going up against the Dodge Charger 777. There it is right there. All right, muscle car versus muscle car. Let's see how this goes. Oh, that thing is all decked out. Has like a body kit on it and everything. All right, here we go. Not that that makes it fast, but... Oh, he's getting us. But we're coming back. Yes. There it is. Oh, that was exciting. 8.3 at 197. We're getting close. Can we break 200 in the next round? This will be the final round. We're going up against the Skyline GTR R34 drag version. That'll be exciting. There it is. It's all white. I love R34s in white. All right, let's see if we can get them. Oh, yeah. We got this. We got this. We got the championship, I believe. I think we got 198 maybe miles per hour. 197 again with an 8.3. At least I'm consistent. Decent reaction times too throughout that whole thing. But we won the championship with our drag, our 69 Mustang drag. Payout of $11,250. Wow. I'd say, yeah, it's a good drag car. It is a beautiful car. I hate to see it go. But we've got to make some money here. We got to get money up to get to at least buy some of those cool exotic, some of those Italian cars. But man, this thing is fun. It is really fun. And I just love the interior work, the detail, the attention to detail. It's an amazingly built mod. Very well done. I believe this is one of Payne's mods. I'll put his link to his Patreon down in the description. He does some of the best work, I tell you, if not the best work. All right, let's see what we did money-wise here. We bought it for $14,993. We are selling it for $97,814 with a profit of $82,821. Sell the car, make that bank, and it's gone. Man, that was a fun one. Guys, if you made it this far, please consider giving the videos a thumbs up. It definitely helps the videos and the channel out. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.